Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Warsh, and it's my honor to serve as Executive Director of New Jersey Transit. And I'm going to say something now that people hear regularly, so much so that it's a tired, worn expression. But today we literally are going to participate in a great moment in New Jersey and the nation, in fact, the world's history, as we retire temporarily our great fleet of PCC cars. And I want to thank you all for taking time out of your schedules to join us here today. I've been told that this is so popular there were even people sleeping at Brook Park last night to participate. We hope you had a good night's sleep, and thanks for joining us here today. A little bit of history. On February 23rd, 1953, Public Service Coordinated Transport in New Jersey announced that it would acquire 30 President's Conference Committee cars, better known as the PCC cars. We purchased them from Twin Cities Rapid Transit in St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota, for a total sum of $350,000. By the way, our new cars are $3.5 million apiece, and that's $11,000 a car. And on January 8th, 1954, the PCC cars went into service, and as you know, through to this day, they never stopped. People ask me what's so special about the cars, and we could all do it in chorus if we wanted to. They're beautiful, and they're simple, and they work. The PCC cars over the years, of course, carried millions of riders. We carry 19,000 a day. And they carried riders like Tim Hester. I'd like to point to Tim Hester. If you could get up and wave, that'd be great. He's one of 16 children. He's here with his family, and the Newark City Subway has carried generations of the Hesters and other area families over the years. Thanks for joining us here today. These cars have played an important role in history of not only Newark, but of the state. And as you know, these PCC cars, this last number 7, the last line, was the last of a great era. We're all rail fans here, and we know that. It was a time when rail was king, before the automobile took over this country and led to the obvious congestion problems and other things that we spend billions of dollars to dig our way out of. And it's the fact that I think that this is the last line left that makes us tug a little bit more emotionally at our hearts. But rest assured, two things. One, the new cars that are coming out, the new light rail vehicles that have had a great year on Hudson Bergen Light Rail, carrying about 10,000 folks a day at this point and growing, is going to be an important part of Newark's continued great renaissance and regeneration. They're air-conditioned, which is such great news, particularly as we stand in the hot sun today. The heat's going to work well in wintertime. They're going to carry a whole lot more people. And I think, perhaps more important than all, persons with disabilities are finally going to be able to take advantage of the great opportunities presented by the Newark City Subway. And that is important. Those low-floor vehicles that will start here on Monday morning, the persons in wheelchairs are going to be able to conveniently roll on and roll off and live a life as close to the rest of us as possible. And that's something that we can all take great pride in. But you hear us today. We're here for a retirement party, but I look at it as a different R. It's more like R&R for these cars. We shortly are going to put out an informal expression of interest to encourage towns and counties throughout the state of New Jersey to think about where they could put PCC cars on dedicated right-of-way in their communities. There's 24 of the PCC cars, 3 of them, and I know the folks from the New Jersey Transportation Heritage Center are here, right there. Thank you for your great work. 3 of them are going to the New Jersey Transportation Heritage Center to be built in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, pursuant to an act of the legislature signed by Governor DeFrancesco, and the other 21 are up for grabs. And we hope and we're confident that there's such an important part that they still have a whole lot of life in them left, that we can find good homes for them and we can run them the way they need to be run. That's something we can take great pride in. This, however, is just one step in a system that is emerging, thanks to the great work of our congressional delegation, your own Congressman Penn, and in this district, Congressman Menendez, Congressman Frelinghuysen, and our great Senators Corzine and Torricelli. We got $188 million for the modernization of this subway, $209 million for the extension of the Newark subway to the Morrison Essex station at Broad Street, a second leg that's going to go from Newark Penn to Newark Airport, and a third leg known as the Union County Light Rail transit system that will go from Elizabeth out to Port Elizabeth and then over west to the Newark Airport. So this is once a great system, now a small system, and is again, through the efforts of so many people here that I will begin to recognize as I speak, is going to be a world-class and great system, taking us to far-flung places once again. Talked about the significant amount of funds that we have gotten from the federal government in addition to your own hard-earned state tax dollars going into this program, and I can assure you that not only the team behind me but all throughout here are dedicated. Who are you pointing at? Jeff Marinoff, our Transportation Advisory Council member, pointing out a car in the original PS coordinated transport colors that we've done specifically for this event. We have some people here today who have kept the system running, who are working very hard to expand the system, as I had mentioned, and I would like to have them stand and be recognized when I call their name. One of the very best. I've traveled the world with her on a variety of mass transit events, and I think next to Bill Clinton, she is the second most widely recognized American. And that's our Vice President and General Manager of Bus Operations, Maureen Milan, for her great work. Maureen, if you could please stand and be recognized. Our Deputy General Manager of Light Rail Operations, Mike Madjak's done an absolutely fantastic job. Mike. Everybody talks about how great these cars are, but they also talk about how finicky these cars are, as we found out early this morning as we were coming here. The guy who's been keeping them all together with spit and rubber bands over the years is the Newark City Superintendent, Kurt Wasong. Kirk? Where is Kirk? Newark City Subway operator, Alfred Hannon. Where is Alfred? There he is. City Subway lead mechanic, there's a tough job, Kenneth Boucher. Where's Ken? Thank you. And PCC trainer Lou DeMuno. And as further proof of the devotion that these cars have inspired over the years and continue to inspire, let me introduce Robert Philpott, a lineman who retired after 33 years with the Newark City Subway and traveled all the way from Saylorsburg, Pennsylvania to be with us here today. Welcome back, Bob. Bob can stand. There he is. Thank you, Bob. I'd also, at this point, like to ask all the folks that I just mentioned to please come up so I could present them with a very special plaque. For you real fans, you know that the overhead wire, the trolley wire, was connected to each other by something that's called a marathon ear of all things. And what I'd like to do now is make a presentation of a special ceremonial plaque of the marathon ears to the folks that I had just mentioned. If they could come on up and receive their plaque and applause, that would be great. Come on up.
Nice job. You coming back to volunteer? No. You do. Get over here.
Got hers, and I think that is
great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Everybody, give them a round of applause. As I mentioned to you earlier, these projects are all big, they're all important, and what that means is they're all incredibly expensive. You didn't hear me say anything below $188 million, and that's a cheap project in New Jersey. We're up way into the billions. We would not be able to do this without the extraordinary support that we get from members of the New Jersey legislature. We're very pleased and proud and privileged to have with us today State Senator Gary Fenari. He's been a great supporter of mass transit in New Jersey. Senator, if you please come up.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining with us in this momentum occasion as we talk about a great new rail system, new cars that are going to be running through the city of Newark. Nonetheless, I can't help but have a certain degree of sadness in retiring these old cars. I can remember quite vividly wonderful things about the cars. Growing up in Nutley, not too far from here, it brings back memories of my my youth and my mom and the things we used to do. And I just thought maybe today I could share those with you. I can remember my mom saying we're going to go shopping in Newark, and the old, I think it was the 15 bus would come down Franklin Avenue, and I'd be in tow with my mom as we'd arrive here at the station, and we'd see the subways, and we'd board, and then on a special occasion, they used to have those things where you could drop the money in, and my mom, and I can remember the thrill of grabbing a hold of the money and being able to drop it in as it kind of shook and went down, and we took our seats. And then as we moved through, sometimes in the summer, in the unair-conditioned cars, Mom letting me push up the window or roll. I think it was we used to slide up the windows nice, and feeling pretty good and happy as we had an opportunity to see all the wonderful scenes in the Brook Park. I can remember the aroma coming from, I think it was a chocolate factory somewhere in the North Ward, as we rode by. But most of all, I remember the excitement about being in these cars. I can remember the excitement of the shifting back and forth, and my mom trying to hold on to me as the train was picking up speed or moving around to the curved portions of the track. And I can remember coming back in the Franklin station, and as we got near here, immediately holding my ears and preparing for the great screech as we made the turn and the wheels. I think you could hear that all the way to Belleville. And as you think back, this experience of taking not the subway, because in my eyes and in my family, it was always still the trolley. We were taking the trolley into Newark, and I can, just remember that it was as exciting as any amusement park or any amusement ride that we can ever go on. So it's with great sadness that I see these cars leaving, but it's great to see that we're putting in a new line that hopefully will provide some youngster with great memories of the wonderful experiences that they had with their families into the future. So with great honor, I say congratulations to New Jersey Transit for the wonderful thing that we're doing here, and thank you all for coming in and joining in this momentous occasion.
Thank you very much, Senator, for honoring us with your presence and continued support. We also have a woman here today who I had the distinct pleasure of serving with when I had my opportunity to serve in the New Jersey General Assembly. If you could all please join me in welcoming another great member of the Transportation Committee and a great supporter of mass transit and New Jersey Transit, Assemblywoman Marian Kreco.
Thank you, Director. I'm just delighted to be here. This is certainly an historic time for all of us. I appreciate everything that is being done. Certainly, we could never do it without the expertise and the hard work of our Executive Director, Warsh, and I do have very fond memories also of using this when we were much younger, going with the family into Newark. And lately, of course, I have not had as much occasion to use it because I'm running all over the state. But it was delightful when my husband first started working in Newark again about 8 years ago, and he just marveled at this marvelous transportation, how easy it was for him to commute to Newark every day. So we're delighted to be here, and hopefully we'll see those old cars somewhere along the state so that we can have them for remembrance. Thank you so much, Mr. Director.
Thank you, Assemblywoman. The other half of the dynamic Creco duo is the mayor of Bloomfield, and we're very proud to be soon enough running through the streets of Bloomfield as well. Please join me in welcoming Bloomfield Mayor John Creco.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I'm very happy to be here today. 8 years ago, the governor appointed me as a deputy commissioner to law and public safety, and I drove my car for about a week downtown until I discovered this great subway. I've been using it for 8 years. I've watched them build this Branch Brook Park, right? Branch Brook Station.
Yes.
The drivers are all very nice people, very, very pleasant, and it's a real great ride when I go downtown. And hopefully, more people will get to use this subway and save them lots of time and get down at about, what is it, 10 minutes? And so I want to thank you for all you've done for us passengers, and hopefully I look forward to using the new cars. Thank you.
I've actually seen the mayor out here, so I know he's a regular Newark City subway passenger. We're also very privileged to have with us here today, while the subway does not serve the city of Montclair. When he was a boy, he lived here in the North Ward. We were just sharing his warm stories of what it was like to be on the Newark City subway as a boy. And please join me in welcoming Montclair Mayor Bob Russo.
Thank you, Jeff. And I just want to say to all of you, the important thing about this subway, it's written in a little booklet I have, and I want to read this one sentence to you. I rode this subway as a kid. I went to school. I went to Newark to shop. I went to Rutgers University. PSE&G, by the way, kept this thing running for many years, and it was public service that had a lot of stake and investment in this, so I want to acknowledge them. But it's meant so much to my life. I'm a lifetime user who used to live off of Orange Street. If you know the Orange Street stop, that's where I walked 2 blocks to get on the subway to get to Newark. I was in Newark already, but to get downtown. Now, what's important about this subway is this. The subway's been the most dependable means of transportation for people all over this Essex County area. When winter blizzards have shut down most of the state, the Newark City subway continued to operate. Many operators, unable to get home, even slept in their PCC cars. That tradition continued even last December when we had a major snowstorm. All operations were suspended, but the rail service on the Newark City subway kept running. This is not only the history of Newark and the history of people like myself now as mayor of Montclair, but it is the solution to our transportation problems. We need this to continue and to expand as the way to get to work, to shop, to get downtown. Thank you.
Amen to that, Mayor. You know, I mentioned how important this is in terms of history. You know, history is all over in terms of what has occurred, but I think you would agree with me as you see a brand new station here at Branch Brook Park that you can't tell a whole lot of difference between the future and the architecture that we've done here and what has been predominant throughout the Newark City subway. And I think when you look around here and you can't tell whether it's 1935 or the 2001, it's a credit to how hard that we worked in order to make this happen and to make it work in a way that fits in with the city of Newark and the surrounding communities. To emphasize the importance of how great this is for New Jersey's history and the regional history, it's my pleasure at this point to introduce to you the president of one of our great companies in the state, Public Service Electric and Gas. They did keep the PCC cars running. In fact, if you do know the history, and I'm sure many of you do, that last line was going to be a busway, if it wasn't for the fact that PS said, let's buy 30 of them from Twin City Rapid Transit. So without PS's great investment over the years in rail infrastructure, and particularly the electric railway aspects of it, we wouldn't be where we are here today. And I'm particularly gratified that we have with us today a former Chief Executive Officer of Public Service Electric and Gas, Harold Sohn, who was very involved over the years, and I'd like to welcome him up now to make a few comments.
Thank you very much. I'd like to acknowledge a couple of my colleagues that are with me today, and that's Fred Schneider, retired Executive Vice President. Fred. Steve Millard, retired Senior Vice President. And then, fortunately, we still have someone who's working, Pete Frampton. He's helping to support the rest of us. You know, all this more or less started in about 1903 when Tom McCarter, the president of Public Service at the time, acquired and consolidated a group of old trolley companies. These companies eventually grew into having over 2,500 trolley cars with 850 miles of track, 100 miles in Newark alone, and part of the track was the subway cars that we see today. I remember the main terminal building was in the old public service building at 80 Park Place, and I'm sure many of you recall that. Now, it has not been mentioned that the main function of the committee that was formed to design these cars was to resolve the great cowcatcher debate of the 1920s. Now, in the early days, the trolleys used cowcatchers in order to augment the meager income of the trolley companies and to solve the deficit problem. Of course, they don't have any deficits anymore. And these trolleys had a cowcatcher in the front to catch the slow cows, and then there was a cowcatcher in the rear in case the cow was faster than the trolley, and of course you can see how you would catch that cow. Now, that, of course, to make a long story short, or whatever, there was this restaurant in Newark called the Bovine Bistro. And that was on Plain Street. And they served the catch of the day. The catch of the day, some days they served the trolley catch of the day, and then other times there was the subway catch of the day. Now, the subway catch of the day is one more that you're familiar with today because we still have it. That was in sandwich form. Now, getting back to the committee, this famous restaurant eventually went hoof up or who's up or whatever because there was a lack of raw material. Namely, there was a dearth of errant cows. So they went out of business, and the committee recognized this, and they decided in their wisdom to completely eliminate any thought of having cowcatchers. Now, then what happened was, of course, this was a disaster for the trolley companies at the time because they needed that extra revenue. It wasn't like today where they're rolling in money. And they finally decided that they'd had about enough, and this happened to public service, where in 1980 we sold, or I should more accurately say gave, our transportation company, New Jersey Coordinated Transport, to the New Jersey Transit Corporation. And it has lived very happily there, ensconced in its current location ever since. And I thank you very much. And if you want to pass off any of this valuable information to your kiddies to show that you paid at least some attention when you went to history class, why, please feel free to do so. Thank you very much.
The Bovine Bistro. Now, that's one I hadn't heard before. We have a group in New Jersey called the New Jersey Association of Railroad Passengers that I personally, as New Jersey Transit CEO, did not know how we could do without. They're important in terms of their grassroots lobbying efforts. They're important in terms of the expertise that they provide us on the engineering and the planning side. And we're very pleased to have here today their President Emeritus, one of his many railroad titles, Al Path. Al?
Jeff, thank you very much, and certainly to New Jersey Transit and all the folks that made such a wonderful celebration today to give a farewell send-off to the PCC cars. It was only a year ago, actually April 15th, 2000, when New Jersey Transit inaugurated the Hudson-Bergen light rail transit system. And after so many years of seeing only one streetcar line in New Jersey, this city subway, we've decided here in New Jersey to latch our future onto a mode of transport that has the ability to reduce congestion and automotive pollution and start to give the mobility options back to the citizens of New Jersey after so long of a time of being caught in gridlock and winglock. Certainly the fact that the city subway here is a testimony to certainly public service and New Jersey Transit over the years, keeping this system alive and using it as a nucleus for a system that could well be the center of a new North Jersey rapid transit system with its tentacles extending at least initially to Elizabeth, perhaps to Jersey City, maybe being extended to West Orange over the Erie branch as we're seeing here in a few weeks, and maybe even to Patterson. Nostalgia, nostalgia, nostalgia. Let me put a few personal remarks in here. We're a public service family, too. I worked for public service for 5 years, but my father worked for public service for 50 years. And in the late 1940s, especially around Christmas time, the old public service E&G had a Christmas party. And I remember very, very well when I was 7 or 8 years old that my father took me into the basement of the public service building. At that time, there were still tracks in the basement, but you had to cross them to get to the city subway. That's when I found my first streetcar. And of course, it was a number 7 line. But then again, at that time, there were a few more lines in there. There was the number 21, Orange. There was the 23 Central. And the longest line, the 29 Bloomfield, that went all the way out to Caldwell. And I guess I got hooked with the trolley and the streetcar and a railroad bug at that time. Over the next couple years, as you know, public service abandoned all of its streetcars that fed the city subway except one, the number 7. And I remember well my father taking us in the 1950 DeSoto with my mother over to Central Avenue, riding that last number 23 line, and then finally the last number 29 Bloomfield. Last night, David Peter Allen, now chair of the Lackawanna Coalition, and I, on a whim, decided at 10 o'clock last night to get in one of my cars, come down to this station, and just see what was happening. Was there anyone here? Was there not anyone here? And lo and behold, what came in but the restored PCC with the public service emblems attached. And it almost was a surreal experience. All of a sudden, it was back in 1952. It was a little misty last night because, as you know, we had a rainstorm. And Dave and I got on that one car, and for those of you who have made the ride at night, you know there's only one car that operates. It goes from here to Penn Station, pauses very momentarily, and comes back to Franklin Avenue, pauses very momentarily, goes back to Newark. You don't have a lot of time. So Dave and I got hooked. We kept buying tickets, and I think we finally quit at about midnight last night. So this was our farewell. This was the last evening of regular service, the last evening of regular service where people were still putting money, actually buying tickets, getting onto the PCC and riding them. And would you know, every one of the cars was filled. So this PCC car in this line not only served the residents of the city of Newark, the county of Essex, the state of New Jersey, for all the years since it was put into service in the mid-1930s, but has the ability now to become the crux, the centerpiece, if you will, of the 21st century light rail system in New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. The next gentleman that I have the pleasure of introducing has literally dedicated his entire life to rail transportation and in his advocacy role in recent years to mass transportation in general. He has done such an extraordinary job over the years. We consider him to be of such enormous value and also just a wonderfully sweet man. And we inducted him just a couple of months ago into the New Jersey Transit Hall of Fame. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Hall of Famer in anyone's Hall of Fame, Bill Wright.
Thank you for the kind words. As Yogi Berra would say, to me it's deja vu all over again, because I remember the old yellow public service cars being, the double-ended cars being retired so we could have the PCCs, and now we're going to have the new equipment, which I've ridden on Hudson Bergen Light Rail and is absolutely beautiful. You're all going to love it. As a member of the advisory committee, we do take our job seriously. We work very hard to make sure that the Hudson cars and the Essex County cars were the same dimension, because we see the time not too far in the future if we run out of oil when the two lines are going to be linked up. There's been ideas around for 30 years to extend the city subway out to West Orange. That was first posed by a freeholder Italiano right here from Essex County. There's been ideas around for at least 30 years to extend the city subway on to Patterson through Nutley and Allwood and Athenia on into Patterson. At that point, it would connect with the Cross Bergen Light Rail, which would make an entire system, as some people have alluded to. And this is what we have to have, because all of this answers the standard question before the Surface Transportation Board. Does it provide public convenience and necessity? And this system certainly does. Growing numbers of Americans can't drive for one reason or another. If we run out of oil, unless you want to borrow a tank full of gas from Saddam Hussein, none of us are going to be able to drive. So it's imperative that we continue to grow this system and remember that not all Americans drive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. We obviously do a lot of work all over the state of New Jersey. We're at this point carrying close to 400,000 people a day, and we would not be able to do it truthfully if it wasn't for the excellent partnerships that we forge with the communities that we either bus through, rail through, or in this case, light rail through. The city of Newark, our most populous city, the headquarters for New Jersey Transit, and a city truly in the midst of the beginning of a great renaissance, is a great host city for this Newark subway. We're happy to have us with today. I'd like to recognize a couple members of the City Council of the City of Newark. Councilman Carino, thank you for joining us today. Thank you. Councilman Quintana, thank you also. Thank you. Joining us here today on behalf of Mayor Sharp James, and believe me, my file is this thick on Newark issues with the mayor. He stays on top of us regularly. I have quite a letter file from him, meet with him regularly. Unfortunately, he could not be here with us today, but speaking for him is his ever able Newark Business Administrator, Harold Lucas. Harold, can you please come on up?
Thank you very much, New Jersey Transit. We certainly welcome all the work and help that transit does for us in the city of Newark. It keeps things moving, and we're happy to say that, we are the host city, and the transit system brings people into Newark and takes people from Newark, and we're so happy that that commerce can continue. We don't really think this is a retirement day. This is really the beginning of a new day. As we continue our renaissance in Newark, and as you go through and see all the great things that are happening, a lot of these things are going to happen even better with the partnership that we have with New Jersey Transit. So on behalf of the mayor of our great city, who is also a great senator as well, we welcome you and thank you for all the good work that you guys have been doing, and let's keep up the good partnership.
Thank you, Harold. There's a variety of other folks in the audience and behind me on the dais that I would like to introduce before we move further with our festivities. New Jersey Transit has advisory councils, one in the north and one in the south. We're very happy that we have one member all the way from down south and one member from right up here in North Jersey. I'd like to introduce first, this first guy I'm going to introduce actually has the lens glass for a 1911 streetcar sweeper, and has provided us with fare boxes and the old photographs that you see there, and I could go on and on and on. He is a Buff's Buff. We're very happy to have him as a member of the South Jersey Transportation Advisory Council. That's Jeff Marinoff. Jeff, thank you for joining us. Another guy who spent a whole lot of years helping us out with giving us feedback from the street where it's important, and spends an enormous amount of time on our issues where it matters. Ralph White from the City of Plainfield. Ralph, thank you. You heard me mention that, and as Harold said, this isn't just a retirement, this is the beginning, and we're about to take the wrappers off a new $188 million system. We would not be able to do that without enormous assistance from the private sector. In this case, it's the Washington Group. We're very happy to have the president of Washington Infrastructure here, Mike Della Rocca. Mike, thank you very much. The guy that Mike depends on, the guy who I reported to for a couple of years in an earlier life, whose job it is to make sure this comes in on time and on budget, not only this project, but the world-class Hudson Bergen Light Rail project as well. I'm very happy to have the president of 21st Century Rail, John Johnson, here with us today. Thank you, John. The next guy is somebody who, and I'll hear about this later, does not like to be introduced. He's the guy who about 18 hours a day truly keeps New Jersey Transit's operations running from top to bottom, and that's truly one of the world's great transit managers, our Chief Operating Officer, Stan Rosenblum. I meant it when he said he doesn't like to be recognized. We also have with us right here in the front row not only the president of the Lackawanna Coalition, but in this role, the Essex County Transportation Advisory Board Chairman, David Peter Allen. David, thank you. I understand we have Ted Porter here, the assistant to the Essex County Freeholders. Ted, thank you for joining us here today as well. And I also understand that Charles Cummings, the Newark City Library historian, is here with us as well. And we thank you for that. There's a few other folks, and I'm leaving them to last, because at New Jersey Transit we take these. They're more than jobs. They're our mission in life, and two people who have taken it particularly to heart is our Assistant Executive Director of New Rail Construction. This is a new rail construction and engineering development and construction project. Dan Sensulo, our Assistant Executive Director. Dan, thank you for all your great work. And Glenn Ridsdale, who is deputy AED at our engineering development and construction, and this is a significant part of this was his project as well. I think I saw Glenn off to the right. Glenn, thank you for your great work. I understand, although I don't see him, he called specifically yesterday to see if he could join us, and that's former Assemblyman from Union County and a regular Raritan Valley Line user, Peter Genova. I'm not sure if Pete's here, but please give former Assemblyman Pete Genova a round of applause, and thank you for that. So now I hope we're all having a good time. I'm going to shut up soon and get you out of the heat. Hopefully everybody's going to join us for the special last rides. The way it's going to work is at 7:30 we shut the subway down. We'll provide substitute bus service for those folks who need the subway to get you to where you have to go. And we're going to be running special rides from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tonight. For the last rides, those folks who do that will be getting last ride certificates signed by Governor DeFrancesco and myself, and our boss, the chairman of New Jersey Transit and DOT Commissioner Jim Weinstein. So hopefully you'll join us for that. Special commemorative tickets will be distributed, and collector's memorabilia will be available for purchase at Penn Station. I want to thank you all on behalf of New Jersey Transit Corporation for honoring us by being here today. This truly is a moment in history. You know what? This is what happens when you have to do too much in too short of a time. One of the most fun aspects that we had in this entire project, thank you, Penny, for reminding me of that, is the artwork behind Senator Fenari over there, and it's a special story behind that. And I apologize for almost missing this. Miguel Rosario is an employee of New Jersey Transit bus operations. He is a mechanic and obviously an extraordinary artist. For those folks who don't know, I know many of you do attend our bus rodeos. We have a bus rodeo every year in New Jersey. Our winners go to an international competition, and the best of all, those operators who win the New Jersey bus rodeo get their own bus for the year with, and if you've seen them, some of them are in, because Edwin Negron has a Newark route. You may see kind of a horse on the side and a guy's face painted on it, and he's lassoing a bus. He was a rodeo winner. That work was done by Miguel as well. He's an extraordinary artist who by the way, loves, because he's used to painting special work on buses, to work on metal that actually is painted on metal. And I'd like to acknowledge Miguel Rosario, if you could please stand. Not only an incredibly talented mechanic and a great colleague here at New Jersey Transit, but clearly a world-class artist, and I think he's done great justice to our wonderful city of Newark. He is going to be available to sign posters and postcards. I believe it's going to be a great thing to have in your collection over the years. I want to thank him for agreeing to do that and for placing us in history in such a beautiful and meaningful way. Thank you, Miguel. And folks, thank you all for coming, and enjoy. Well, you know, today it's a great opportunity for us at New Jersey Transit to both celebrate history and to look very aggressively towards the future. PCC cars have a very special place, not only in New Jersey history, but world history, and they're an important part of our lives here. And we're going to show them that respect. We've got 24 of them of the original 30 that are remaining, that have been in service for almost 50 years at this point. 3 of them are being donated to the New Jersey Transportation Heritage Center, where a museum will rise on a 150-acre site in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, along the Delaware River. And the other 21, we are actively going to seek opportunities to restore them into passenger service in proper settings throughout New Jersey. Muni wants them, the Baltimore Museum wants them, I've heard Boston wants them, and we're very firm on the fact that we're going to take good care of them. We're going to house them in a proper place, keep them properly maintained, and actively look for opportunities to restore them into service. So that's the little bit of history and where we're going to go with those cars in the future. With respect to the new light rail vehicles that will start service the first turnout on Monday, August 27th, we're truly stepping into the 21st century. As much as there's a nostalgic pull for these great old cars, there's not a lot to be said for cars that don't have air conditioning in New Jersey in the summer. It's hot, it's humid, it's uncomfortable, as we all know from being out here today, and they're going to finally have air conditioning, they're going to have heat. Things that folks are never going to see or feel, hopefully. This has the world's most advanced and sophisticated safety systems, and it's been operational on Hudson Bergen Light Rail for well over a year at this point, and they're working fantastically. We anticipate that they're going to work extraordinarily well here through trials. We know that already. So the folks are going to have a world-class system. And train fans certainly knows this, one of the aspects that's important as far as our charge and our mission in mass transit is to not only have equal opportunity for all, but to have special respect for persons with disabilities. The current Newark City subway, as much as we love the PCC cars, is completely inaccessible to folks who are wheelchair bound. The new light rail vehicles are 70% low floor, and what that means to regular folks is it means roll on and roll off for someone in a wheelchair. It means they have the same opportunity for mobility and economic development and quality of life as the rest of us. And not only is that federal law, it's something we feel here, it's something that's important to us, and I can't wait to see the first person in a wheelchair roll onto those cars as I saw it on Hudson Bergen. It makes you feel good, it makes us know that we're doing something important. And on the flip side as to what the PCCs have meant as far as Newark's quality of life, its culture, and its economic development as the state's largest city, and Newark's experiencing a great renaissance now. These light rail vehicles are not only going to run on this 4.3-mile section and another mile in November when we open it to Bloomfield, but by 2005 we will open a new extension of the Newark subway, both underground and on the surface, to the Broad Street station. So the Venerable Morris and Essex lines will now connect to the Northeast Corridor, another important connection. That's what we're all about now, is connecting all these railroads to each other. The next segment will be an extension of the Newark City subway from Penn Station, Newark out to the airport as well, working on a different time frame. Will be the third segment of the so-called Newark Elizabeth Rail Link, MOS3, the Union County segment. It will go from Elizabeth out to Port Elizabeth, where it will meet a ferry terminal, back west over the turnpike and connect to Newark Airport, and then eventually a more suburban extension out into Cranford, where it will connect to the Raritan Valley line. So this is the beginning of a great renaissance of rail transportation in this area again. So for you train fans, it's only going to get better.
Hi, I got on.
Listen, I miss these babies so much. It's just part of history. I can't believe they're going to be gone. So long, my girl. I miss you.
Hey, have a good trip there, 14. Make sure drivers, sit over on track number 5. Please bring your cars around the track. 1, so this way we go straight up to the facility, okay? Bring your cars around. Yeah, guys. Say that again. Thanks, Joe Lakel. There's the door. Citizen Joe, go ahead. Somebody over, Joe, over. Yeah, Joe, all the cars on track 5, right now, and about the branch Brook, they're going up to the BBF right now, okay? No stopping, all right? Get ahead straight up. Like the top here. 4 on the track 1 and then head out. Okay, from this side right here, just tell them. You can turn the lights off when you're inside this car and head up to the BBF, okay? No stop. Just face him out, Joe. Alright, just remember to go just 2 minutes later with the double up. David Dom. Hey, that front car up there. I got people sitting on the car. I can get them out. Repeat that again. The front car will be up and ready to go on the car. Okay, 17, move up, let's go. Time to go, let's go. Okay, let's go. Everybody move up. Let's go. Take it on around. Let's go 23 roll. You got the cars behind you. Our drivers right now, just get headed straight up to the BBS, alright? So don't stop it, get ahead straight up. David Dominic. David.
I've been an employee with New Jersey Transit now for 12 full years. I'll be beginning my 13th year next month. And out of all the events that I've been a part of, this has been one of the most exciting events. From the very early morning this morning at the Brook Park Station with the ceremony, with all the vendors that were there selling things, all the tchotchkes and the memorabilia. It's been a wonderful day, and to end it today the same way it started, with the same enthusiasm and excitement, and all the employees that put so much effort towards today to make it so special. It couldn't end any better way than with this last run.
That's great. That's great. You want to just comment on the new equipment? We'll get a bite on that.
The new equipment starts Monday. We're real excited to see the new equipment with the air conditioning and modernization. I mean, we're sad to see this equipment go, but there's good things with the technology of today, and so, you know, though we're sad to see it go, we're pretty excited about Monday starting and the new equipment running.
Car number 14. Get in the car with a gun gun. Augusta, car 14. Is Dave Morgan on your bus?
No, okay.
No, Kirby.
It's the last public car
on the
coming,
radio.
That's cool.
Say again? Yeah, 14 car, where are you? We're outbound. I think we just went by Brookfield. Mike, is that you on the car? Yeah, Mike, oh, good. I can use you to bring him in on the car.
You know, this is just a wonderful conclusion to a great almost half century of the PCC cars running here, and the fact that we have so many fans here late at night to try and take the last run is indicative of how important these are to the state. It's just been, you know, a wonderful day, and we're going to miss them running every day, but see how fast we can get them running up somewhere else.
Yeah, that's good. You got the picture already?
It was a wonderful day. We had a great event here. A lot of people came from everywhere, and we really enjoyed the day. It went very successfully. And we're glad to be able to keep these cars and some of them to keep running them. We're also glad to be putting the new equipment in because it'll extend the system's life for another 30 years.
It's a great day, symbolic of many, many years of investment in public transportation, and it's probably an indication of great things to come. New Jersey is leaping from the 19th century to the 21st century in one single day, and I think it indicates our continued support and hopes for how public transit will play a critical role in New Jersey's economic and quality of life.
It's great. It's going to be great. You know, Penny will never hire me because I'm a
Maybe that's really the reason why. Let's walk back in the election. Mary, 8 o'clock, Monday morning for Richmond Park Station.
You lost your voice like I'm losing mine. Next to last was the public service cars. Circle with him and see how he felt. Now, this kind of history of these cars. It's article in the store. It's insane. I wonder if there'll be a visual event pushing the history of the subway now to further ways. That's right. Actually, they made them not historical because we were leaving. One of them was already going over the new stretch. Well, that kid just looking back. I had to see him make that move. I really want to see it.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The PCC Cars of Newark, which gave us outstanding service for 47 years. And for Jeff Marsh, Maureen Milan, Penny Bassett Hackett, Mike Pajak, and all the others
You won't make an announcement.
who put this together. And for our operator, Ismail Augusto, will you please join me in a round of applause?
Ladies, you making this? Thank you everyone for running the Yes Run.
Hey, you gotta run downstairs and help us out.
Yeah, we're going to help it out. I just want to talk to you. 25 years.
Good to see you, man. Yep. Just gonna almost being through this guy.
Let's see the man. Let's see the man. Okay, here it goes.
Today's kind of an emotional day, mixed emotions really. I spent 28 years with these, so I'm gonna miss them. But then again, you got a new challenge coming with the new one, so I'm excited about that. So I got mixed emotions. They're very tired, it's time to put them to rest. So.
Boy, do I have mixed feelings about this. I mean, on one hand, it's the end of an era. These things are wonderful. They're horses, they're gorgeous, they're special. This is the last operation of the sort in the country, and they could be a tourist attraction if we ran all PCCs. On the other hand, when the LRTs come, it's going to be the fourth generation. You know, first the canal, then the Woodies, PCCs, now the LRTs. God willing, we'll go to a fifth and have more lines to run on. But there's something about this is magic. And we said goodnight to the magic tonight. I'm smiling so I don't cry.
Don't stand out there, those are guys that